Welcome to the Commercial Real Estate Investing from A to Z podcast. I'm your host, Steph Boldrini. We provide straightforward information by bringing excellent guests with real-world experience in all topics related to commercial real estate investing. And in today's episode, I'd like to share with you guys a very simple thing that I developed over the last couple of years that has been incredibly beneficial to me. And I know it will be beneficial to you and your real estate investments. It is what I call the word of the year. It started in 2020 when I decided that year I would focus on diversifying my investments because obviously of the chaotic environment that we were in, especially where I was in California. And my word of the year in 2020 was diversification. That year, I decided that I had to diversify not to optimize for returns, but to decrease risks because the entire globe was shut down. Nobody knew that the USA would print so much money. Nobody knew. I certainly had no clue that the stocks would double, triple, quadruple that year. And so that was the goal. So I ended up purchasing the car washes, self-storage, some land, some crypto, and some unique stocks that I hadn't thought of investing in before. As a result, up until today, the car washes and the self-storage did pretty well. The land, we are a bit above what we invested in, and so we're not losing anything. We're making just a tiny bit on that. And then the stocks, initially they went up, and today they are down. So currently I'm on the red with the stocks. I haven't sold them yet, so that is TBD. So looking back at 2020, we achieved the goal of diversification and decreasing risks. Great. For 2021, I realized that I was getting completely overwhelmed with doing everything myself, from managing all these asset classes to the podcast and everything in between. And I knew that in order for me to expand the business, I had to start putting processes in place and delegating as much as possible so that I could focus on the important things and the bigger vision. And I knew that this was a very important step before going in any other direction, before even potentially buying the next set of properties. So I decided that my word of the year for 2021 would be delegation. So I started writing down everything that I was doing, step by step, literally like step 1, log into this website. Step 2, click on this button. And I also created videos of me going through this process. And I made it as foolproof as possible. And I started hiring virtual assistants. Not all virtual assistants worked out. And the ones that worked out the most were from the website Upwork that I shared with you guys before. So you should definitely be using them and selecting them by rating. And I ended up with a couple of them that are working out pretty well. And as you start to work with them, you begin to see who has what kinds of strengths, and you start to move tasks according to their strengths. So I had to shuffle some things around. And then I got a subscription at ClickUp.com, which is the best task management system that I found. I evaluated and tried at least 5 of them. And you can obviously break it down by who's doing what, how often is this reoccurring, and you can put videos there, you can write on them. It's really, really, really user-friendly and foolproof, which is the goal here. So now that we have all of these systems in place, and in order for them to continue to go smoothly throughout the years, these processes will have to be reviewed every 6 months to a year, in order for us to make sure that the steps are up to date, the videos are up to date. As we all know, websites change buttons, colors, location of these buttons all the time. So we have to make sure that everything is up to date in order for this to continue being a flawless experience for everybody. And guess what? I'm going to delegate that job to my VAs. And one thing I want to note here is that because you spend all year focused on one word of the year, it really ingrains that word in your mind. So the words trickle down to the following years. So for example, in 2021, I invested in short-term rentals. And in 2022, I made a point this year of looking at every single task that I have under my plate. And before doing them, I ask myself, can my VA do this? Can my VA do this? And it really has shifted my mindset from doing literally everything myself to how can I delegate this? And it's been wonderful. And this can be literally anything from personal things like getting quotes or booking flights or whatever it is, all the way to calling the city planning department to find out if this property is zoned for something that we want to build there. So it has been truly life-changing. And there is a book out there that I really want to read called Who Not How. And the title tells you exactly what the book is about, but it's something that prior to these last couple of years, I really was trying to learn and do everything myself. And I really need to get out of that mindset in order to expand. So that's next on my reading list. So as far as 2022, that word was just decided in April. And so I don't really stress myself with, oh my gosh, January 1st, what is going to be my word of the year? I have to really feel it, and I need to see what the weaknesses are and where things can be improved. And so 2022 came to me in April as if I had a vision. How it came to me is I'm part of a book club, and the book that we were reading was The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. And one of the quotes that stuck with me on the book was, "You will get rich by giving society what it wants, but does not know yet how to get at scale." And the way that I made this sentence work as far as real estate investing is obviously giving investors, when I syndicate, the absolute best service ever. They are our customers, from a communications perspective to great returns to implementing technology in our investments as much as possible, and doing that at scale, doing the real estate at scale. So with this mindset now, everything that I am looking at and thinking and doing is, okay, how am I going to be scaling this business? So the word of this year is scale. What has happened so far since I implemented this word? Because it is in your mind literally every single day. I looked for a self-storage mastermind group. I decided that the car washes need to move on. We need to do something else, and figured a few different options there. I decided that I do not want to focus on that asset class. So I need to really clear myself of the things that have been keeping me busy so we can just do the scaling. And with this word being my focus for the year, I realized that I really need to clear my calendar. I need to focus in one asset class, and I also need help. And this also goes hand in hand with that book, Who Not How. In order for us to scale and grow significantly, we need help. We cannot do everything ourselves. We cannot become experts in every single topic. We cannot and should not learn every single topic. So we just need to figure out who will be the best people to help with XYZ that you are looking at achieving. With that, you're thinking, okay, who can help me with this? Who is going to be a great partner? Where can I find these partners? How to evaluate these partners? I reach out to my network of amazing people that I absolutely love and admire and are successful, and I talk to them. Okay, how do you decide to partner up with an operator when you're doing a syndication? What were the mistakes that you made? What should be put on the contract? And one of them said, one of the things that my lawyer always said is that every relationship comes to an end, whether it be marriage, through either divorce or death, but also in business. So you really have to have everything spelled out prior to entering into a partnership. So it has been awesome. I'm so excited to see what this year is going to bring. Things are getting a lot more clear. And I have to say that the delegation part was definitely a more important step prior to this one. And for the overachievers here, which I'm sure it's most of you guys, I want to note that I think it's important to keep it a word of the year or maybe every 6 months, but definitely not a monthly word, because that may not really stay with you and you may not end up doing everything that you want to get done during that month. So if you do every month, you might not necessarily really ingrain that word in you and your thoughts and your actions. So I think every 6 months is fine. Every year for me has been great. And I hope this is beneficial for all of you. I cannot wait to hear about all of your words. Add me on LinkedIn, send an email through the website, monicarlorei.com. Let me know what words you picked. I would love to hear your ideas. Again, mine were diversification, delegation, and scaling. No pressure, take your time, try to take a look at the bigger picture of where you want to go and what needs to come first in order for you to get there. I hope this was really helpful to you guys. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our newsletter at monicarlorei.com. And I will see you next time.